This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech. Have you ever wondered what it's like to bite into Nerds gummy clusters? They're fruity. They're tangy. They're gummy. And they're crunchy. Nerds Gummy Clusters, a union of fruity sweet gummy and tangy crunchy nerds. Unleash your senses. Shop now at nerdscandy.com.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk on cyberbullying because I feel like I might have talked on cyberbullying before, but I feel like it's one of those topics where it doesn't really matter how many times you talk about it. There are going to be people in this world that just, they just do some old silly stuff on the internet with cyberbullying, and they don't realize the effect that it has on people. Like, the whole reason why I'm even doing this episode in the first place is because I was reading a little bit of this article done on Kylie Jenner, where people were leaving comments about her appearance. And I know people think that their opinion matters about other people, but people need to understand that it doesn't. We can live perfectly fine without your opinion on my appearance, another person's appearance, even if it's a person that gets the most amount of hate in the world. It's like, do you think at the end of the day, your comment is, and the sad thing is like, that's the only effect that it'll really have on somebody is like those comments, they'll build up. And I guess, yeah, and Kylie Jenner's situation, it's like, you getting comments like that all the time. You can't really I guess like control all of that stuff. Meanwhile, people like myself, where it's like I'm not really a big social media influencer, so I could delete those comments at the end of the day. But yeah, it's like with her, it's like, you delete one, you get 10 more, and it's messed up that people feel that it's needed to talk on that type of stuff. Like, fam, so what? Like, I'm saying, it's like, that's something that I find myself, like, not doing at all on the internet. I don't care for a person's appearance, Yeah, it might be, like, here and there if I say, but it ain't even so much in, like, poor taste. Like, I'll say that an individual may look like another person, but I don't say it in a way where it's gonna come off as disrespectful. So, like, for an example, if I see a content creator that resembles Kylie Jenner, I'm like, oh, okay, that content creator resembles it. Like, that's what I'm more so talking about. I'll just say that they look like the individual, but I'm not saying it in a bad way. But yeah, overall though, you just got people out there where it's like they feel that they need to talk on that type of stuff. And I mean, it could go from appearance, it could go from just, just flat out harassment. And there are a couple of videos that I do plan on talking about where it ain't even so much as like cyberbullying, but yeah, it's like more so talking on harassing another individual and stuff, more so like on a stalker level. But yeah, it's like I didn't see where people done gone through stuff like that, and it's like, man, it's just messed up that there are people, and I'm like, I guess to bully the cyberbullying stuff, what is your guys' like issue when it comes to being on the internet? Why do you feel that you need to go on the internet and act out a character? Because at the end of the day, that's not who you are. The reason why I say that is because I remember a kid that I went to school with where he was big on that stuff. He was big on the cyberbullying. I actually went to school with multiple kids that were like that. And the one kid I remember that I dealt with, he was big in the cyberbullying stuff. And I don't know. I think it was just overall a thing. Like, I remember me and his girlfriend at the time. Like, we wasn't even the close to friends. Like, talking on me and the girl. And I didn't know who he was, but I think I remember me and the girl, we had classes with each other. And I think that's something that I've said before. And if I haven't, I'm the class clown. Like, everybody is going to obviously like the class clown. Like, yeah, there might be 1-2 kids that might not like him, but yeah, with me, it was like I was always making kids laugh, being cool with one another and stuff. So anyways, I remember somewhat, I ain't gonna say like all the way, like I'm gonna invite this girl to my wedding, because I don't even remember the girl's name, but anyways, I do remember at one point in time, we were cool with each other, and I think he just overall had like some jealousy thing going on and stuff. And yeah, he was like trying to try that cyberbullying stuff with me. And I've said this before. I don't believe in bullies. I don't believe in cyberbullying. I don't believe in a kid chasing me home and all that other stuff. I'm like, fam, I will fight you out here. You try that stuff with me. I guarantee it. I promise you, it's not gonna work in your favor. It's like, yeah, I might lose 10 different fights, but I guarantee it, I promise you, that one fight that I win, I'm gonna make sure everybody remembers that versus the 10 losses and stuff. So anyways, but yeah, he never tried no stuff like that. He had tried something like that, I definitely would have hurt him right then and there. Don't matter if we at school, don't matter if we down the street, don't matter if we in front of police. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I forget of my surroundings. And so yeah, I think that's what a lot of times, like, I guess, like, if you're dealing with a bully, like if you're a kid in school, or maybe if it might even be some stuff at your workplace. No, it's like at times you gotta display crazy to just overall let a person know, like, hey, I'm with that lifestyle. So if you're really trying to try something with me, then it's like, be my guest, because I don't have nothing to lose at the end of the day. So anyways, but no, yeah, he tried that cyberbullying stuff with me. And then when he was with his friends, he tried to do that same, had that same energy. But when I caught him a couple of times by himself, dead silent, had nothing to say, had nothing. But I was like, well, he made sure of it that when he was with friends, and I picked up on that, and I was like, yeah, I ain't even gonna fool with this guy, because it's like, the thing is this, I don't want to embarrass him by himself. I want to embarrass him with his friends. I want to embarrass him in front of everybody. So it's like, you think you're gonna try that stuff with me, fam, I'm gonna flip it back on you and things. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I never really worried. I never worried at all about that guy. I was like, if he was gonna do something, he would have did something. So, but and then there was another girl where she was bullying people. I think she was bullying people, but I remember she was catfishing people. But it was like, everybody knew who she was. The crazy thing about it was she was going by her actual name on social media, but she was getting other people's profiles, or yeah, their pictures and stuff, and then using it for her own. And I'm thinking to myself, like, fam, you're putting yourself in a situation where you're the one being bullied. Like, it ain't even like you're doing this to one person. You're doing this to a group of people. Do you honestly think, because my thing is this, one person, yeah, it might be a situation between you and that individual, but you're doing this to a group of people. The only person that's going to be in a bad situation is you. If these people all decide to do some Avenger stuff, they all team up and they decide to take you down, I'm like, fam, that's your fight. I'm like, that's at the end of the day, that's your fight. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't get why people get on the internet and they feel like they need to get this sort of like just what's the word I'm trying to look for? It's something. It's right there in the tip of my tongue, but I'm like, I can't even think of the word right now. I got a lot of stuff going through my mind, so it's like, forgive me for not really being in the zone as I'm doing this podcast episode, but I'm trying my hardest. But anyways, dang, what is the word down to, no, it's like, I feel like, does it start with an S? I don't think it starts with an S, but, it's like, it's right there, and I can't even think of the word right now. My brain ain't braining and stuff, but anyways, but no, it's like, it's just one of those things where people, they just feel like this, attention, there we go, it didn't even start with an S. I was like, I don't know why, I was thinking of something, but I was like, no, it doesn't sound, but I'm like, they want to be the center of attention, and they put themselves in that situation. I'm like, fam, the thing is this, with bullies, they don't realize that, but it's like, you just gonna find yourself in a much more worse situation, regardless of whether you bully these people and then you go on about your life and things, or you bully these people and they decide to stand up to you. But either way, at some point in time, you are going to face your karma. That is something that I'm really strong on speaking about, is people facing their karma. And that's something where I'm like, I can think of like kids when again, never really believed in that bully stuff. And this is something that I'm like, I don't know what came over me, but it was like, yeah, it was just, he was one of those kids where I'm like, no, I gotta stop this right here and right now. And again, didn't care of my surroundings, didn't care who's seen. But anyways, I do remember there was an incident when I was in school. And I'm telling these stories to just overall encourage people. I know people will probably be like, oh, I'm putting out a bad message by promoting, violence towards others. But my thing is this, I would rather have it where you do what I did to this kid, rather for it to be a situation where it's like now a bunch of people's lives are, because I'm going to talk on, some serious dark stuff in a moment before I tell this story, or after I tell this story. But anyways, so I remember there was this one kid, always felt like he had to mess with people. And this was like elementary me and stuff. So like I told this kid numerous times, I'm like, leave me alone, stop doing what you're doing, go on about your business. Like, I don't want to be bothered with you, go somewhere else and all that stuff. So anyways, I remember there was one day where, and I don't know, I guess like maybe he was bullying me, but it ended after this particular moment. But anyways, but I don't know, like I never really look at myself as being bullied. So like, that's why I never really, I don't know, like I never feared the kid or anything. So, but it was just one of those kids where I'm all like, fam, you need to leave me alone. I'm trying to warn you. So, but anyways, I remember it was cold outside. And so I think I was walking around the school. And I remember having my hands in my pocket because I was like, yeah, it was cold. I'm like, nah, bro. And it's like when it's cold, like you got wind and all this other stuff. Like, I don't know how like cold, like how you guys would define cold in the states and places that you live in. But for me, I live in Washington State. So when it's cold, it is cold. So I remember walking with my hands in my pocket and I was trying to open up the door. And I think I was using my elbow to open it up, or I'd use my hand, whichever. But anyways, I remember my backpack had got stuck within the door because I ain't opened it up all the way. So he starts pointing at me and laughing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm already upset at the fact that it's cold outside and I don't even want to be here right now. Like, this is how I'm thinking as a kid. So you point and laugh at me and then you think you just gonna go on about your day and stuff. I'm like, if nobody would have caught me right then and there, that kid would have been dealing with me the whole day, bruh. The whole day. So, but no, so he points, he laughs, he goes up these stairs, and he's just going on about his business and stuff. I came up clean behind this kid, and I punched him in the back of the head. Did not care that a teacher had seen me, didn't care that, yeah, because there was a teacher right there down the hall. Like, they had, like, pretty much, like, a full 4K view of what I just did. So, yeah, I just came running up behind the kid. He's talking with his friend. I just punched him straight in the back of the head, and I'm like, and I gave him a look, letting him know, like, bruh, from this day forward, and which he did, leave me alone. And so ended up getting suspended from school. And I was like, yeah, it was just one of those things where I'm like, hey, look, bro. I'm like, but there's even I remember at that same school, like kids would try that stuff. Like there was even one kid I remember he was the last kid I fought at that school. And he tried that bullying stuff. I think I told that story where it was Halloween. He kept calling me Freddy Cougar. And not crew, like cougar, like the animal and stuff. And so I got on him about that. He didn't listen. Then I remember he was dressed up as a pirate, and he had this plastic sword, and he hit me across the arm with it. And at that point, I just snapped on him. I didn't even, again, didn't care that teachers were there, didn't care that kids were there. Kids told it. I think they did tell, but I remember his sister being there because both of them, they were like, I think the sister is like a couple of years older than him and stuff. But I remember beating him right then and there in front of all the kids, in front of his sister, teachers, everybody. I was like, it's one of those things where I'm all like, yeah, I don't play around when it comes to that bullying stuff. And the day when I have kids, I'm gonna let them know. I'm like, hey, as long as you tell me whether it's a cyberbully, a bully like that you're seeing in front of you and stuff, but regardless of the situation, if you beat up a kid, I'm like, don't, do some stuff where you're going to put the kid in the hospital. But yeah, just, beat them up in front of everybody and things. I'm cool with that. Just don't do nothing where it's like, I'm going to have to, do some answering for it and stuff. Because then they're going to be all like, who are you raising in your house and things. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, don't break nothing. Don't do nothing crazy. But, give this kid a couple of licks and go on about your business and stuff. Cause them to cry pretty much. But I'm like, don't cause them to like, they're going to have like an oxygen mask and they're going to have to be carried out on a stretcher, like that level of pain. Like, don't do all that. If I gotta give my kid like some boxing or fighting lessons and all that stuff, I'm like, yeah, but anyways, but I am going to teach my kid and let them know. I'm like, hey, or kids, however many kids I decide to have, but I am going to let them know. I'm like, hey, don't let nobody walk all over you and stuff and be trying to bully you and things, whether it's a bully that you're seeing in your class, school, whatever, or if it's that kid, but they want to do that cyberbullying stuff. And I'm like, punk them out if you need to and things, or embarrass them and stuff and flip that stuff right back on them and things. But, no, it's just one of those things. I feel like, it needs to be discussed. It needs to be talked on. How it's like you people need to embarrass a bully and stuff, because and that's why I wanted to get to the dark stuff, because I'm like, you hear it too many times where it's like these school shootings take place. And and it's messed up because it's like nobody should be involved in the school shooting, even the bully themselves and stuff, even though they're the one that caused all of it, but even them too, they shouldn't be involved in that stuff, because it's like that is way more trauma. Well, bullying is traumatizing too, because I feel like that, yes, it overall can carry on into a kid's adult life and things. But I feel like, seeing it where it's like, I think it's a little bit more darker and a little bit more traumatizing when you're seeing people scattered dead all over school grounds and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to get dark like that, but at the same time, it's like, when you be out here bullying kids, people don't even be thinking about that, because they're all like, oh, I just want to bully this kid, have fun because it's funny and all that. I'm like, stuff like that ain't funny, bro. It ain't funny at all. So I'm like, girl, guy, whichever, I don't care. I'm like, stuff like that, you shouldn't be bullying nobody in school. It don't matter, like, if they're the smart kid of the class, if they're the tattletale, if they got something going on. Excuse me. But yeah, it's like, it shouldn't matter what's wrong with that kid. I'm like, that's one thing that, like, growing up and just even like now, just being out and things, it's like, I'm just kind of like, I do that. I like look at people, kind of pay attention to them and all that stuff. But I'm like, you could kind of like pinpoint who's the quiet person and then who's the loud person. But no, yeah, I seen this like they looked like they was a quiet person and things, but I nodded my head at them and stuff. I was like, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not gonna look at you and judge. You want to sit down, have a conversation and talk about life, I don't care. I'm like, stuff like that, it don't matter to me, so I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like that there's a bigger purpose on earth for my life and things. I feel like it's overall being there for people and helping people and stuff. So yeah, it's like the cyberbullying. I'm like, I guess like, yeah, school done ended, I can't really, but I guess like, come next year, for any kids out there and stuff, if you are that bully and you are, there ain't no stuff where it's like, I'm not a bully, and it's like, nah, it's like you hearing this episode and everything I done said, where it's like the cyberbullying or face-to-face bullying, you bullying somebody, leave that stuff alone. I'm like, otherwise it's gonna be a situation that you don't ever want to be in your life. But no, but yeah, it's like, just go to school and be positive, it's like, I'd see, like, I just think of like when I was in school, and I'm like, man, it's, you see how these kids be carrying on with the bullying stuff, and I'm like, bro, you guys I would like to just know how some of them are doing nowadays. It's like others where I'm like, yeah, I know you ain't doing much, but then there's some where it's like, you hadn't really heard from them, and like the one kid that I punched in the back of the head, it's like, what is he doing right now? Because it's just one of those things where it's like, I know you ain't having a success. If you are having a successful life, then I don't know, you did something crazy. But if not, then it's all like, yeah, it's like, that's that karma making its way around you and stuff. So yeah, people, I'm like, the cyberbullying, the bullying, all that stuff, it just needs to stop. It's like, if you feel that you need to go around and be bullying people, then I'm like, don't even put yourself involved with people. It's like, go on about your business elsewhere, or there's going to be that kid that punches you in the back of the head, and they don't care what's going on or what they or who's watching and things. So they're gonna try to embarrass you. So anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on podcast streaming service. Thank you guys, and peace.